So Andrew Tate is having a horrific time in jail. His lawyer is completely unhinged and making the situation worse. And all of his propaganda just isn't working. And nobody really even cares that he's in there. The army of incels that were supposed to bust him out of jail, you know what I'm saying? All the strong men of the manosphere were supposed to just run to his aid. And not really many people are turning up, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to break it all down to you in this video. But it's not looking too good for the Tate brothers, unfortunately for them. And I want to just give you a little bit of context for why he's having such a bad time in jail. Now, it's funny because like this clip's going around. A lot of people have been saying, okay, that like basically if Andrew Tate is going to get beaten up by a shite boxer wearing Hello Kitty gloves, okay, just imagine what the violent, hardened criminals in the federal detention center of Miami would be doing to him, okay? Now, look, I don't know what's going on, all right, but he's definitely going to be getting sacked around that prison like a rag doll if he's not careful, okay? So here's the thing. I thought this is what he wanted all along. He said, I want to be in prison. Remember this?
Heartbreaking thing. I don't want to be on a private jet to Hong Kong. I want to go to fucking jail. I want to go back to the jail cell.
So, yeah. He is now, after saying he wants to be back in jail, the big tough guy, he is absolutely shook. He's saying, of my 10 days incarcerated, I've only seen rec time 3 times. I've spent 24 hours per day for 7 days locked in my cell. What are the rights of American citizens? Well, if you do a crime in America, you end up in jail. If you do a crime in the West, countries that rock with America, like the UK, they'll reach out to get you extradited so that you can face justice. It's not really that complicated, okay? And the agreement between the US and the UK is very well established, and it is looking like Tate will be extradited. So he's basically now kind of like playing the sympathy card. He's putting out all this propaganda. I doubt he's writing any of these tweets or that these tweets have even officially come from him. I would bet you that this is his team ChatGPTing it up and just trying to come up with the maximum sympathy. And he's running a whole propaganda campaign, and it really isn't working. So he said, there are far fewer correctional officers on my wing than when I first arrived in the SHU. It feels eerily quiet up here. I would never do myself. He thinks that they're going to Jeffrey Epstein him. It's ironic, all right, that he keeps kind of saying, well, nobody ever did anything about Epstein. Nobody ever arrested people for the Epstein files. But like, he basically is kind of, he's acting like they're going to try and Epstein him, basically. And what's really, really interesting about all of this is there was this tweet that he put out there, right? And he was like, how many of Epstein's friends were arrested by 15 US Marshals at gunpoint? Rather than actually defending himself against these charges, he's like, well, the other human traffickers didn't get why am I getting treated? Why is this human trafficking get treated from the other human trafficking? And look, I do agree that like Epstein should have faced justice, but that doesn't mean just because we accidentally let one human trafficker slip through the net, that doesn't mean that, oh, well, the precedent is just we just let this slide. The fact that Epstein was so horrific and we unfortunately as a society didn't manage to hold him to account before he got Epsteined, all right, as we're going to call it, that doesn't mean that human trafficking is legalized, sir. You seem to be doing the thing that Epstein was doing allegedly, and unfortunately your time is up. Your card is getting pulled. Epstein's card got pulled in a whole different way. So the sob story that's kind of coming out around Tate is pretty hilarious. His lawyer is now arguing a whole bunch of crazy things, and I'll show you a few clips from his lawyer throughout this video. But one of the things he's put out there that's absolutely insane, he's saying that apparently Tristan and Andrew Tate, they're too tall to be in a federal jail. They're too tall for the tiny little beds. And the idea of them in these tiny little prison beds with their feet sticking out the ends of them because they're too tall, it's just hilarious to me, to be honest with you.
They're drinking shower water in a 5x7 cell, if that. They don't have a chair, so if Andrew wants to sit down, they have like a concrete stub. Obviously, who the hell wants to sit on that? Andrew's 6'3", Tristan's 6'5", and the beds aren't big enough. So Tristan's got to sleep like sitting up half the time. They don't have the ability to turn the lights on and off. There's not proper ventilation. They've been out a total of 3 days since they've been in. They've been given 1 hour each day, so that's a total of 3 hours over the course of 11 days. In terms of access to commissary, communication with the outside world, they haven't been given it. It's only us. So we're here. I'm right across the street, walk over to the jail. Both myself and co-counsel over here, we're going to see them twice a day, every day, to check in on them. And, you know, we're not going to disappear until the war has been won.
I can't believe this is legal. Has anyone tried, like, suing this prison?
This prison's been sued. All you got to do is Google FDC Miami. It'll pop up.
So turns out, guys, right? Turns out prison's bad and uncomfortable, Okay, so the propaganda campaign that they're now putting across, which is really interesting, and also just for the record, it's like no rec time. He's managed to link up with this guy twice a day, non-stop, day in, day out. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it's so bad. But then I'm linking up with my fellow bald brethren to have link ups twice a day, every day. So it don't sound honestly, it don't sound too bad, and it is prison at the end of the day. This is federal prison. But anyway, all right, he's running this whole propaganda campaign, which is really interesting. One of the things that I found the most hilarious, this is going around, they're saying Andrew and Tristan Tate have children too. They deserve a father. Free the Tate brothers. So if you have children, apparently you can just human traffic other young girls. It's completely fine. All right. Community Notes is cooking Andrew Tate lately. It says Andrew Tate and the other one have been charged with horrendous crimes, including human trafficking, possession of illegal videos, and R word, to name a few. This user is advocating for children to be put in the care of the person most likely to do them harm. Horrific. Okay, horrific. So this is Tate with one of his alleged many kids. I can't lie to you. He looks disdainful. He looks annoyed. He looks like he's being forced to make this video at gunpoint, and that these two hate the fact that they have kids. And like, it's like they're just here to be trotted out when they want to try and get out jail free card. I remember last time that he got caught in Romania, and then when he came out, he had a massive rant. He was like, "I have children. This is a disgrace. I have children." Like, so fucking what? So if loads of people have children doesn't mean you can't commit crime, dummy.
Hey, that's right. What is this? Troublemakers. Troublemaker 1, troublemaker 2. How old are you now? 4. Oh, she's 14. You're 20. Okay. Big girls. Oh, she's 14. You're 20. Okay. Big girls.
Something a bit sinister about that, if I'm completely honest with you. But people are basically like pointing to this clip and just saying that his whole propaganda campaign was very predictable. They're saying Andrew Tate's propaganda is so predictable. Same playbook from their Romanian arrest. So firstly, we've already had them moaning about horrible conditions. Secondly, we've heard all the rights violations. Apparently in this part of the finesse timeline, we're now at the Great Fathers section, and soon it's going to be health issue and an emergency. They're saying human trafficker, by the way. Like, apparently you can't have kids if you're a human trafficker. Apparently it's impossible. Apparently human traffickers are infertile. I didn't know that. And then this is the post that I just showed you, right? It says you might even hear that they're amazing fathers, that it's unfair to their children, that they're not safe in jail, or that there was an attempt on their lives. We've heard it all before. They've moved to the next steps as predicted. We've now moved to the beginning of Tate's medical issue right on time. I'm drinking dirty, filthy shower water. Oh, it's giving me persistent stomach problems. Cue the lung cancer scare again, and then grandma's going to die for the third time. Oh my God, it's classic. So this was the last time they got out of jail. They were living it up, loving it, dancing. And I feel like these guys are the definition of laugh now, cry later, right? We've seen them just living it up, dancing with their terrible dance moves, looking so happy. And it's like, y'all didn't actually beat the charges, you know? Like, they thought that they could Aikido their way through all of these charges from country to country, state to state. But unfortunately for them, the British government is now going to hold them to account. Now, I'm not saying that I love the British government or everything that they do, but at the end of the day, if you commit the R-word charge in the UK, you deserve to be held account. Absolutely. A lot of people are doing mental gymnastics to like run defense for these people that have been accused of the R-word charge. I know some people get falsely accused sometimes, but that really is not an excuse. Like, Andrew Tate has seemingly admitted it, and I'm going to tell you in another video, there's a whole bunch more self-snitching. He admitted to pimping girls out, which is illegal in England. You know, he's admitted to holding girls in the place against their will, withholding their money from them, getting them on webcam services. Bruh, he admitted to all these crimes, and now people are doing mental gymnastics to try and act like he didn't snitch on himself through and through. But anyway, okay, another interesting thing that's been going around, it says, for all the people holding signs up outside the jail, it's very high up here and the smaller signs are hard to read, but I can feel every word. Thank you. Community note, there was only one person outside the jail today with a sign. One guy, all right? The lone protester, the lone gunman, okay? And this is what he had to say.
All right, everybody, so I'm joined here today with the lone protester who's been standing outside of Andrew and Tristan Tate's jail all by himself. Brother, I want to ask you, what brings you out here to stand all alone for the Tates?
It's entirely, they've been there for us. Now we can be there for them. I don't care about anything else other than those two sets of eyes up there, seeing me, looking down, and knowing that there is at least one person out here that's saying, I got you. They're trying to break them. That's all they're trying to do right now. And if they can just look out that window, and I'm even providing them a little bit of comfort, That's all I care about.
Yeah. What would you say to the people watching that? I'd be like, oh, like, that are mocking you for being the only person here. What would you say to them?
I literally don't give a fuck about you.
Let's go. And would you say that more people need to come stand with us, or?
If you want to, absolutely. But come here for the right reasons. Come here just because you want to comfort them. That's the only reason why I'm coming out.
Let's go.
So be the same. If you're trying to get famous, you're trying to do clout, you're trying to get the fuck away from him. It's only just for them.
Let's go. All right, brother. I appreciate it, man.
So there's a clout chaser saying, don't come here for clout, all right? And he's literally here being interviewed about this. He's the only fool that is shameless enough to actually go and do this. But what's really interesting is a lot of people have actually been turning up to the courthouse, people doing videos, attending to kind of give updates on the situation, and everybody keeps spreading the same lie. They don't have no evidence. There ain't no evidence on them. Well, there is evidence on them, and it just is because that the UK government has, I believe, 60 days to present this evidence, and they've been in there for what, like 2 weeks now. They are not obliged to provide that information at a day's notice. They've got a 60-day window to present this evidence, and they will have present this evidence, and we've heard tidbits of this evidence before. We've seen the Romanian evidence. The idea that there's no evidence is absurd. There's plenty of evidence on Andrew's own social media profiles where he's admitting to pimping. He has a pimping hose degree. No evidence. He posted his evidence and sold it. All right. But anyway, you got clowns like this that are basically saying the Tate situation is getting weirder. July 27th. How are they supposed to prepare for a detention hearing when proof and original documents from the UK aren't even available? Well, they got 60 days to present it, and they will present it. Now, this guy, it's so funny. This guy's investor and trader, entrepreneur husband. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm going to embarrass myself right now. But when I put this on, I swear, like, this guy low key, I don't know if this is like the Mandela effect, but I swear I was looking at this guy. I was like, isn't this guy like a fucking famous porn star or some shit? I think he just bears a striking resemblance to like some famous porno actor, but I think this is some entrepreneur guy that's been clout gobbling the Tates for years. But it's like, I'm seeing you sucking off the Tates now. I swear I've seen you sucking somebody else off in some other video. It's a different guy, but just, what is it that everybody defending Tate has no fucking hair? Why has nobody got any hair? Is it just like a bald Illuminati that's going on? Tate's got no hair. Tristan shaved all of his hair off miraculously right before the arrest. His lawyer's got no fucking hair. This guy's got no... What is... Like, I don't even... Can somebody just explain to me why these guys all have no hair? Is that their problem? Is that why they hate women?
So the Tate situation is getting more interesting. I just got out of a court hearing, and they are still in detention right here. There is a press conference going on, and here is the latest. The latest is that the prosecution is arguing that they should be detained and that it actually should continue the way it is, and they should be in, solitary confinement unit and 23 hours a day with criminals, murderers, and people who are supposedly danger to the public. However,
because they are criminals. They're not necessarily murderers, right? But like, they're criminals. They're a danger to the public. He's like, the judge is saying they should be housed here with these criminals, and people are, yes, because he's a danger to the public. He's an accused criminal. He's been hiding for over a decade from these charges, and he's admitted the crimes in videos. Like, he's what they're looking for.
When the defense...
Prisons were built for people like him.
And there are lawyers right here. When they were saying, could you please provide us with any proof, anything that the UK has provided? The defense is like, oh, we don't know. We don't have a full package. It might take 60 days for us to...
So this guy is being disingenuous, right? One, he got that wrong. He said the defense is saying, he meant the prosecution. And two, he's like, oh, we don't know. Oh, there's 60 days. No, they have 60 days to give the information. So you need to shut the fuck up. Sit down on your little metal cot with your feet sticking over the edge. Shut the fuck up and wait 60 days. Just like these girls waited 15 years to be able to even have a shot at holding you to account. Just because you did the R word and fled to Romania, allegedly, and, swanned around the world until you got caught up in Romania, then you swanned off to Dubai, swanned off to America. Your time is up, all right? They've waited 15 years. The least you could do is wait 60 days. I thought you had unmatched perspicacity.
Receive any kind of information and full package, and then the defense is going to receive it. So how they're even supposed to argue against their solitary confinement and detention, how they can go into a detention hearing, which is now scheduled for the 13th of August, without even the ability to see who's the accuser, what is the fucking proof, none of it. Today they're like, huh.
They know. I believe, in my opinion, I believe that they know. This is all just smoke and mirrors, all right? They know. And they've got 60 days to give that stuff over.
I don't know. I witnessed it with my own eyes. They said, oh, we don't, maybe within 60 days. That's it. This is all you need to know.
Well, maybe within 60... No, he's being disingenuous. They've got 60 days to present the information. It's been like 2 weeks, all right? So we'll see within 60 days, they're going to submit it. Now, we saw kind of more footage of these kind of pathetic guys that were outside there. This was the original guy. Tate's a heroes. And Tate posted this, I can see you, G, all right? He apparently shouted out, there was another guy that was out there doing push-ups in the rain. So black t-shirt and blue jeans. I see you doing push-ups out my window with the free Tate sign. Good work, G. DM me. Was that the same guy? That's a different guy. So this is going around. It says fans are doing push-ups for Andrew Tate outside the Miami Detention Center. This is so embarrassing. Imagine going outside doing this for another grown man. You might as well just go and commit a crime and get let in there and be one of his little punks. Like, be his prison house bitch. Squeeze it.
Good karma. Power level right there.
60.
Yes, sir. You see that?
What a joker.
That's what Andrew wants us to do.
That's what...
Brotherhood. Take care of your body. Take care of your family.
I'm not sure that's what he wants you to do, but okay. Okay, Queen, you do your thing. So apparently this is an actual video from outside that shows Andrew Tate's baldy little head from this slit of a window at his cell. Now, I can't confirm or deny that this is him, but take a look and tell me if you think that's him.
He's doing a keto. He's doing a keto. No.
That is Andrew Tate right there. He's watching us record this video, and nobody's going to offer this perspective that we're going to offer. And Andrew Tate's the only one that's going to understand it, and he's going to take our advice, and he will fly us out and have a meeting and a podcast with us. Mark my words.
He's going to fly you out and have a meeting. Grown man just begging Andrew Tate to be flown out is crazy, all right? But look, okay, he's been posting back-to-back just a bunch of made-up stories of things that have happened in jail. I personally don't believe any of this stuff. He said in the... This is hilarious. Like, this is what his team is thinking is going to save him. Like, the judge is going to see this and be like, let him out. He said in the pitch black of last night, somewhere around 3 or 4 a.m. I don't have a clock. So how do you know... How do you know it was around? Okay. A prisoner called out through his steel cell door. Person 1, anyone want to talk? Pause. Anyone want to talk? After 30 or so seconds, another prisoner replied, yo, yo. They said, hey man, what you in for? Prisoner 2 said, don't ask me what I'm in for, you broke-ass N-word. P1 said, I asked if you wanted to talk, N-word. Why can't I ask you? P2 said, we both in jail, N-word. Shut up. P1 said, pussy N-word, I'll kill you. I don't think this happened. The next 15 minutes was both of them screaming death threats at each other at the top of their voices. Eventually, a demonic roar erupted from another cell. A deep, raspy scream coupled with furious bangs on his cell door. Boom, 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 and then a death metal shriek. The 2 original prisoners argued for another minute or so until eventually subsiding to the banging and roaring. I thought this demon just wanted them to stop fighting, but I think they simply woke him up. He continued to roar and bang for hours until the sun rose. I was unable to sleep and it was too dark to read. I counted the bricks on the wall. I thought they kept the lights on all night and you couldn't turn them off, but you can't read? Okay. 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 I'll be honest, the cell looks pretty well illuminated here, guys. All right, whoopsie. The cell looks pretty... I reckon he could have read a book through that. But anyway... Okay, there's another made-up post that's been going around where apparently Tristan Tate, he's happy this happened. Apparently, Andrew said to him, one day we'll be glad this happened. And Tristan said, everyone knows we're innocent. We went down as heroes. Heroes of what? Heroes of abuse. Heroes of pimping. Heroes of webcam models. Like, bro, this is embarrassing, bro. You went down as heroes. Like, heroes of what? Male depravity. More importantly, we went down together. Pause. Andrew and Tristan Tate are in the feds going down together right now. That's what's going on, okay? Dudes are outside doing push-ups, wishing they could go down with them. That's insane. And he said, the best thing ever. I'm already glad it happened. Don't ever try to reassure me again. That did not happen. That conversation didn't happen, all right? I can almost guarantee that conversation never happened. So from here, he's been posting old content. He's kind of been posting these long rants. In this one, he basically says that one of Epstein's friends was working with Keir Starmer to falsely prosecute him for basically making young men, you know, be brave and watch his content. Again, it's like, it's so funny because all of this pre-written nonsense was probably put together like a little while before his arrest while Keir Starmer was still the prime minister. He's not the prime minister anymore. He got cooked. We got a new prime minister. It's over with. So it's like all of this stuff is out of date as well, which is hilarious. But let's hear him going on his little rant. And again, these are all old from before he went to jail, but it's like he knew this was going to happen. So it's like he did a bunch of pre-recorded rallies to try and get people behind him. It's nonsense propaganda.
Mr. Keir Starmer, I heard you're in a little bit of trouble. I've got bad news for you because you're in a whole bunch more. I'm here in America, and I've just been handed a document which proves that Morgan McSweeney, who was your chief of staff under the Labour government, was behind the entire attack that happened against me. It breaks international law. It completely breaks the presumption of innocence. It shows the corruption of the British state. It shows that you were afraid that I was inspiring bravery in young men, and when young men are brave, they will prevent the Labour government from enslaving the entire UK population. That is why you have insulted me every single day in the mainstream news. That is why you told the Romanians to lock me up, even though I never did anything wrong. That is why members of parliament to this day slander me every single day, because the primary objective is to attach heinous allegations to my name to the point where people are afraid to use my influence. They know I'm influential. I'm the most influential. So they want everybody afraid to associate with me because of the heinous allegations attached to my name. Verbatim. He is an unchecked source of influence. Isn't that right, Morgan McSweeney? And I have the paperwork. This is against...
I don't like Keir Starmer, but to say he's an unchecked person of influence is like, bro, he's an elected official. Like, let's be real. You're an unchecked person of influence. You basically flooded the market with clips and forced yourself down everyone's throat to cover up the fact that you were wanted internationally for S-crimes.
Against every single law. This shows the absolute corruption of the British state. If I was a terrorist, or if I stabbed 3 little girls to death, I'd be in the news for a couple days. 2, maybe 3 days at most. That's the end of it. But
that's bullshit. If I stabbed little girls to death, I'd be in the news for a few days. No, you wouldn't. How long's David been in the fucking news? Give me a break. I've been at the courthouse covering a guy that stabbed a little girl to death. And he's been front page news nonstop, day in, day out. This is the biggest media event of celebrity culture in years. It's the worst. What the fuck are you talking about? If he did what David did, bro, it'd be the biggest, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nonsense.
I've been in the news. People tried to say that I'm the reason Britain is broken every single day for the last 4 years. This is not organic. This has been done on purpose. This is a directive coming directly from the Labour government, informing the mainstream media to remind people I'm a bad person so nobody listens to my ideas, because my ideas instill and inspire bravery in the population, and they do not want a brave population because they are trying to enslave and break Britain. So what are you going to do, Keir Starmer? When I decide which judge in the USA looks at this document and sees that I've been unfairly imprisoned, sees that you have lied about me and slandered me endlessly without evidence, that you have tried to use every judicial measure across Romania and the United Kingdom.
No. Because you see, you didn't know he had this judicial measure up his sleeve, did you? You didn't know he had that next. Look, he said you've used every judicial except for extradition. Got him.
To get me off the internet when I'm an American citizen with free speech. What are you going to do, Keir Starmer? Because I have an American passport.
I think I know what they're going to do.
So what are you going to do now that I have the paperwork proving that you attacked an American citizen for his free speech and tried to ruin his life and threw him in a Romanian gulag?
Yeah.
You are worse than a communist. You're a scumbag. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you. You have no public support. Nobody believes the things you say about me. Nobody supports you. And I now have the paperwork. So now I have to decide which judge sees these papers and where I take you and your entire cabal of corrupt pieces of shit who have completely destroyed the once great Britain. All of you scumbags, and Morgan McSweeney especially, are going to see a courtroom and you are going to face justice for what you have done in your attempt to silence me. This battle is not over. You've tried to kill me twice. You're going to try again. And unless you succeed, the only person going to jail is you.
Yeah, I don't think Keir Starmer's going to jail. He's not even the Prime Minister anymore. But this is just hilarious, to be honest with you. Honesty should never be silenced. So, but you can silence... He wants to silence Keir Starmer, though, right, for having his own opinions. So there's like a bunch of posts of him blaming the British government, calling them corrupt. He said the British state is attempting to publicly destroy me, an innocent man, to absolve itself of its sins. It believes that it can burn me at the stake publicly as a symbol of how seriously they protect women and girls and vulnerable people. This is something that he does a lot. Rather than addressing the allegations against him, which are heinous and very hard to explain away, he just says, well, other people have abused girls and kids. Like, no, they're allowed to abuse girls and why can't I? Like, Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to traffic. Why can't I? But Jeffrey, like, it's nonsense, and it's so embarrassing. He said, they want you to forget that Philip Schofield and Hugh Edwards R-worded children and never went to jail. They want you to forget that 250,000 young girls were R-worded by grooming gangs with police cooperation. They want you to forget how they allow R-words and murderers to arrive by boat every single day to stab your children and attack women. Oh, you let them abuse kids? Like, you let them groom people and traffic them? Like, why can't I do that? Now you are, because you're an idiot and you told on yourself, all right? Look, I think it's disgusting that other people have been allowed to traffic, and there's very, very complicated reasons why that was allowed, and hopefully as a society, especially in the UK, they can fix that going forward and go back and punish anybody that was complicit in those things, not just happening, but being swept under the rug. But that doesn't mean that we've legalized. No, sir. You're all you traffickers. Just because someone else got away with it doesn't mean that you get a license to traffic. But the fact these things happened and continue to happen while they use every power available to chase me around the world does nothing but show the public how corrupt and complicit they really are in all the crimes that have taken place. Absolutely nobody trusts the British state anymore. The endless decade pursuit of me only makes people trust them less. Why don't they use a fraction of this police effort to stop the small boats or grooming gangs? How about we stop the boats and the grooming gangs and you and any traffickers that try and evade justice? Why don't we just do all? Why does it? I don't think it matters. Just because the boats there's illegal migration happening, that doesn't mean that you can just traffic away till your heart's content. He said because they wanted those to happen and they want to destroy me to cover for their acts and pretend that they're not corrupt scum. There is definitely corrupt scum in the system that needs to be sorted out, but that doesn't matter, okay? If the corruption is going to be destroyed, that means holding everybody to account, including you. So this one's going around, and now, all right, in this one's hilarious. Oh, it's Joe. No, this one. Listen, this one's Joe. It's Joe Biden's fault. So it's Keir Starmer who's not the prime minister anymore, and Joe Biden who's not the president anymore. Surely, right? This happened under the Trump administration. Why aren't you blaming Trump? Why aren't you having a pop at Trump? Like, it doesn't really make any sense because you're hoping Trump might come and help you out. You've been trying to get around people in his circle, trying to get around his son, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So he's saying Joe Biden did this. All right. Two men who don't like me very much are smart enough to see my case for what it is. Corrupt Romanian bullshit instigated by Biden's State Department. Yes, I have proof that the State Department and the UK Foreign Office told the Romanians, get this guy off the internet. Romania is corrupt. All the documents are a lie. They're just all a lie, man. They're just all a lie because they looked pretty truthful, but no, they're all a lie. All the evidence that you said doesn't exist, it's a lie. That evidence that doesn't exist, it's not a thing, it doesn't exist, it's also a lie. The courts are a lie. The fact that I've won it all is a miracle. That's a lie. If they had even 1% real evidence, I would be in jail. You are in jail. You're in jail. Romanian courts just cancelled their own election. Okay, that's a whole other story. They're corrupt to the core. When I started winning, the UK found a girl from 13 years ago and said I need to be extradited and go to jail. They didn't find her. She'd been trying to get this done for ages. And it's ironic because the police in the UK and the authorities, generally, they're pretty harsh when it comes to women reporting S crimes. And it's an absolute mountain of a battle for them to be taken seriously. She's been fighting for all of these years. They didn't find her. The corrupt UK police that you're rallying against have finally done something about trafficking, which you say you're against. But because it's you, it's a problem. So the UK locks people up for speech. I talk the loudest. They want an excuse to lock me up. I'm suffering the highest possible level of Matrix attack. All right. And this is a whole clip. I'm not going to play you this clip, but basically everyone's saying, we've got your back, brother. We're going to see you soon. But his lawyer is absolutely unhinged. Now, this one really alarmed me, and I think he has accidentally just made the biggest mistake of his whole debacle, because it seems like his lawyer is actually threatening an elected official. He says here, right, this says, Andrew Tate's lawyer is absolutely unhinged. In an argument against extraditing the Tate brothers, Joe McBride says one allegation against Marco Rubio's son and his son's life's over. Bro, Marco Rubio has apparently got a sign off on this extradition when all is said and done. I think this is a threat towards his son. It's actually just, this is terrifying and a big mistake.
If things don't work out with bail or with extradition, the boys can't be extradited without the Secretary of State signing off on that. The Secretary of State is, of course, Marco Rubio. Look, Marco Rubio has a son who plays football in college in Florida right now. One allegation against his son and his son's life is over.
That's really bad, all right? That's really, really bad. You know, you could say, no, he's really just trying to, you know, make Marco Rubio understand that just how seriously his own son could be a victim of this same lies. But it's like, it sounds like you're making a threat, sir, because you're saying that he's the one who holds the position to decide if you get extradited and something might happen to his son. Like, what are we doing here? So Joe McBride is over here now just being hysterical. World War III is here. World War Tate is the battle for your mind. Resist the mind virus. So when Andrew Tate was in Dubai and bombs were falling and he was lying to the world saying everything's fine, chasing clout with the Dubai government because he was hoping that that might have been a safe haven for him. He got a bit too comfortable and left. But when that was going on, it wasn't World War III. There was nothing to see here. Everything was fine. When literal bombs were exploding above his head, everything was fine. But now he's been arrested. No, now it's World War III. Now it's World War III. All right, resist the mind virus. Okay, this is insane. Look at my lawyer dog. I'm going to jail. This guy's been doing the Andrew Tate gang sign for a minute, man. It's absolutely insane. So he's now saying not only is it World War III, but he's saying they're going to execute. All right, they're going to execute Andrew Tate if they get sent to the UK. We don't have the death penalty, sir. They're trying to extradite you away from a place that has the death penalty. It's just hilarious, the ridiculousness of this.
Every time somebody compares them to Epstein, what they're doing is they're saying these guys are so bad that they deserve to be put in an orange jumpsuit and hung in their prison cells. We would never extradite somebody to North Korea knowing that they were going to be executed, and we shouldn't extradite Andrew and Tristan Tate to the United Kingdom knowing that they'll be executed as well, because make no mistake about it, they want to lock them up in some horrible prison and make sure that they get murdered. That is fundamentally evil and wrong.
That's disgusting.
Every time somebody
I don't think anyone wants to do that to Andrew Tate, to be honest with you. I just think that he's a creep, and he did horrible things to women, and he fled to the UK to go to Romania and hid out for years, created a whole stink there. This is what happens in life. I said this in a previous video, but like, as a man, do you want me to give you some OG manosphere advice? All right, let me take over the manosphere for a second. Just don't lie. All right, don't tell lies. You need to be an honorable man. You need to be honest. You need to have principles. You need to do right by people. Don't harm people. Don't coerce people. Don't force women into prostitution work for your own benefit. Don't do that, okay? Don't lie. Don't create a problem. And if you do a crime, if you do a lie, if you do something that you shouldn't have done in the eyes of society, you should own up to it. You should face the music. You should face the charges. You should clean up the lie. You should absolve yourself and be honest. Just be honest. Set the record straight. All these types of lies will keep you up at night. Andrew Tate has been terrified, all right, for years. Even though he's put on this fake facade, I tell you what, he has been racked with anxiety because he knows it's been lies on lies for years on years, and he got away with this for so long. But the music's finally, you know, he's now having to face the music. His lies are finally catching up to him, and there's not really a way of him getting out of this at this point. It was always going to get to him in the end. But this is the thing. As a man, you just shouldn't put yourself in this situation. He's done this to himself, and now he's trying to weasel out of it, and it's not going to work. As a man, it's just so much better to be honest. Him going through all of that in the UK, allegedly doing these horrible things, and then fleeing to Romania to escape justice for years, he never learned his lesson, so he never fixed up, and then he continued allegedly committing crimes in Romania. Now, here's the thing. He would have continued to commit these crimes in America. There's rumors that he assaulted a woman or did something really bad, you know, when he was in LA, a hotel. You know, there was rumors that the Florida feds were actually looking into him for other things that had gone on in the United States. You know, there's rumors that a woman traveled from the United States. He never learned his lesson, all right? And he kept creating worse and worse situations for himself. And now it's come back to bite him. So if you're going to learn anything from this Andrew Tate story, it's that, like, you can definitely, you know, create this alternative narrative and alternative facts to kind of cover things up for a certain period of time. But in the end, like, the truth always does come out. And I think what's going to end up happening is he's going to get extradited to the UK. I think he is going to face a trial that is going to be very damning. It's going to be very bad. He's going to say he's a political prisoner. But really, the evidence is going to cook him, and he's just going to look awful, and he's going to basically go down for these crimes. Not just because he allegedly did them, but because he snitched on himself for years. He openly said that he was pimping girls out, which is illegal. You know, there's other stuff. They're saying that he was admitting to doing R words, threatening to do R words on girls again afterwards. And at the end of the day, I think his story as the king of the manosphere is ultimately going to go down and still be very helpful, because he taught all of these men how to act, how to do push-ups, all of this bullshit. But eventually, I think he is actually going to become a message for men of what not to do. The best thing that could happen is for him to go down in flames and for people to say, oh, that really isn't a way to go. What good is the Bugatti, the Koenigsegg, the fucking Pagani penthouse, all this shit? What good is that when you are a disgrace and you're sat in a jail cell for the rest of your life? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching the videos I've done this today. I'll be back tomorrow with some more updates on some of these interesting topics. I hope you found them useful. But that's it for me for now. Thank you and peace.